Hey everyone, this is going to be a bit different from my usual videos as I will be talking in this one. For now, I've decided to do voiceovers only when I'm reviewing games, so I don't bore you with my voice in every single gameplay video. The next game review will be for Assassin's Creed Black Flag Racing, and for that one I have a lot of things to say, but you have to wait for me to finish it first. So, back to Doom. To start things off, I've been a huge Doom fan since 2016. Back then, I didn't have a PC strong enough to run it, so I watched a ton of gameplay, walkthroughs, and word breakdowns. But before anyone calls me a warper, I want you to know that when I finally got a proper computer, I played through Doom 2016, then Eternal on release, and Dark Ages on day one. So the warper allegations are not true. Okay, enough nonsense, let's go straight into the review. The DLC picks up some time after the Slayer defeats Prince Azrak. It starts with him searching for the High Council, which are totally not the God Hand from Berserk by the way, and to get to them he needs the Oracle, an artifact to open a gate to the Council's chamber. Once inside, the Council looks into his past and uses a painful memory to defeat him. Belias, or the henchman, defeats him, then casts him into purgatory, and for the first time ever, we see the Slayer lose a battle. Once in purgatory, he is saved by the Architect, who gives him the chain spear and guides him on the way out. To leave purgatory, the Slayer must recover 3 Ascension Stones, each forcing him to relive a memory of his past. Before he was the Doomslayer, he was a regular marine on a mission to destroy a weapons facility beneath a hospital. He was told the site was clear, but his commanding officers failed to get the latest information the civilians were still inside. The Slayer blows up the hospital, but in the process he unknowingly kills several civilians, alongside a little girl. This guilt eats him alive, and it is used against him in the opening of the DLC. Once all the stones are collected, the Slayer faces Marak, who is under the influence of the Khan Maker. At the end of the battle, Marak regains his mind, but unfortunately ends it right away, before the Maker takes control again. After the battle, the Architect uses the Ascension Stones and parts of the broken armor to create the Praetor suit. After that, he goes back to Agent Dinar, where he confronts the Khan Maker and fights the henchman, defeating him in the end. The DLC ends with the Sentinels split between the Maker and the Doomslayer, setting up the Sentinel Civil War, and a secret cutscene shows the Commander Valen, Marok's father, hearing whispers about his son, which will lead to him becoming the Betrayer. Basically, if you've played Doom Eternal, the Betrayer in the beginning helps the Slayer, and is later also used in the DLC to help him in the final battle. Okay, that was the story. I might have missed some things for which I apologize, but overall, this is the main story you need to know about the DLC. As someone who enjoys the story and watches videos describing the entirety of the Doom War, I have to say the story here was decent. It sets up several important events for the future, gives answers for the unresolved plot points and questions from 2016, which is really good to have answers 10 years later, but better late than never. If there's a next game, and I sure hope there is, I would like to see it being set during the Sentinel Civil War, where the Slayer goes against the High Council, and it ends with him being sealed off in the sarcophagus we see from Doom 2016. This will ultimately make the last 10 years of Doom story come basically full circle. But we'll see. You never know what the future brings. They might decide to remake the old Doom games with all the remakes we've had recently on other franchises, so who knows. Alright, so enough with the story, let's talk about the gameplay. The best way to describe it is that it's software taking the best parts of Eternal and combining them with the Dark Ages, which results in revelations. Once you get the spear, you basically must relearn the game and its mechanics from the beginning. And this is evident even from my first 2 videos I made after getting the spear. It takes time and practice to get used to, but believe me, the reward is worth it. The gameplay is insane, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I like the gameplay here in the Revelations DLC more than I like it in Eternal. In a way, it's better. But anyways, before the DLC was released, some people were claiming the developers have done a poor job by bringing Eternal's best mechanic into the game. However, it's a mechanic in a video game. If it's good and fun to play with, why not bring it back? What's the point to have it only in Eternal, to gatekeep it only for that game? Doesn't make sense personally to me. All this discourse immediately died once everyone got their hands to the DLC. No one is complaining anymore that they're bringing the mechanic back. And because of this, the reception to the DLC is phenomenal. Everyone loves it, even the people who didn't like Dark Ages in the beginning. Now they have nothing but praise for it. It perfectly captures the essence of the modern Doom games and even adds some of the classic levels as well, which were really fun to play. When the game initially released, out of the 3 modern Doom games, I had it on second place, right after Eternal. I have to say, Eternal is my favorite one because I really like mobility in video games. I like to be all over the place. However, now with the DLC, I think it's a tie between it and Eternal for first place. I just can't decide. They're really good. Both of them, they're their own thing, but at the same time, they're the same franchise. I don't know, I just can't decide. They're pretty good. Even without the DLC, I still like the base game, even though it had some drastic changes from the previous one, such as its initial marketing. If you remember that, oof, it was quite rough. Or the switch up to a more narrative driven experience with cutscenes. This I didn't expect at all. I mean, Eternal had its cutscenes, but compared to Dark Ages, now there's like a lot more, and it it's easier to understand the story. Even someone who has no idea what Doom is about, he can go into the Dark Ages, play it, just casually play it, and understand its story. Unlike Eternal or even Doom 2016, where you have to read the codex to understand what is happening. I do not mind the cutscenes, I even prefer them because personally I grew up with story-driven video games such as Assassin's Creed, and I was quite surprised that the new Doom game has them, and I think this is quite a good change as well, compared to only reading the codex pages, and they were basically a nice addition. But a lot of people didn't like them for some reason, and that's okay, everyone has their preferences. This next part is a rough topic to talk about, but as you probably know, on the release of the DLC, Microsoft announced it will lay off 3,200 staff members from its Xbox division as part of their new restructure. 1,600 of those layoffs happened on July 6th, and this has affected the developers from id Software as well, currently with 136 people laid off from the company. Honestly, this is a scummy thing to do, especially on the release of the DLC, where most, if not all of these people put their heart and soul into delivering a quality product for the fans, and you can clearly see it. It's shown in the entire DLC. As someone who works in the IT field, I've had several colleagues of mine being laid off unexpectedly, which sucks, regardless of the reason. This is an ongoing problem not only in the gaming industry, but overall. And every day you must be on high alert because you don't know if AI will replace you the next day or what the higher up management will do to you. So you never know. And to all the developers who created this masterpiece of a DLC, I wish you all the best and I genuinely mean it. People like you are the reason this franchise still exists and is more popular than ever. I hope this is not the end for you or id Software, and even though no one currently knows the future of Doom or the studio, I am optimistic things will turn out better in the future. Honestly, I don't know how else to put it, but Doom The Dark Ages Revelations is the best DLC expansion in a long time, up there with Shadow of the Earth 3, that has turned a good game into a great one. It encapsulates all the best parts of 2016, Eternal and Dark Ages, and it is a love letter to Doom fans all over the world. At the end of the day, the best thing we can do as fans is support id Software during these difficult times. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the DLC. I will read all of them and reply as well.